joined today by Michigan personal injury attorney Dodd Fisher, who has helped many people get the compensation they deserve in slip and fall accidents. Thank you for being with us today, Dodd.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Everyone slips or stumbles from time to time. When does a slip and fall become grounds for filing a lawsuit?
Well, if you're on another property, with a mall, for instance, parking lot, and you come across a defect in a flooring or parking lot or something like that that causes you to fall and injure yourself, you may have a lawsuit or have a claim against the owner of the premises to the property that you fall upon.
Okay. If someone falls at a store or a place of business, they should fill out an accident report if they're requested to do so.
Absolutely. You want to establish that a fall occurred, and you also want to give notice that there was of a claim, notice of an injury. But I would definitely advise less is more, less is better. You don't want to get too detailed, and because this is an out-of-court statement, or it's a statement that can be used against you in the event there is a lawsuit that is eventually filed.
Okay. If the place where the person fell has insurance, or if the place where the person fell is offering to cover the person's medical expenses, does the person who fell really need an attorney?
Yes. Michigan has, there's common law, there's case law that is changing, and you need to have an attorney to advise you appropriately what the law is, depending on the factual pattern of the circumstances that led to the fall, whether you even have a legal basis, and depending on where the accident occurred, there may be commercial insurance, there may be insurance involved, dealing with the claims. They're going to be asking you for a statement, written statement, or even a verbal statement. You want to have an attorney to advise you through all the hoops that you may have to go through to present a claim, whether it's to the insurance company or file a lawsuit if necessary, and get proper representation so you get the money you deserve and the fair compensation you deserve from this injury.
Okay. Does it matter what caused the fall? For instance, does there have to be a dangerous condition, such as ice or cracked pavement or wet floor, before you can actually sue?
Yes, you do. Under Michigan law, you have to have, in most cases, notice of a condition. So it has to be a condition that could have been prevented by reasonable diligence of the premises owner. And so there's notices involved. There's a defect involved. It could be a crack in the parking lot. It could be some obstruction in the walkway. Could be any number of things. But there is legal elements that are at play to form a basis for a lawsuit. So you do need an attorney to advise you about your claim and the legal basis for that claim.
I've heard that there are different rules regarding suing a government entity. Now, does it matter if the fall occurred on public property, such as a sidewalk or a park?
Yes, it does matter. If it involving a park or at a school or at a library, there is what they call the public immunity, and in many cases there is immunity for even slip and falls or fall and accidents that do occur on those kind of locations.
Okay. If someone lives in an apartment, can they sue their landlord if they slip and fall on that property?
Yeah, it depends. So it's yes, but a qualified yes. Again, it's totally on the facts. Did you fall on something that was there that they had notice of? Did you fall on something that's you put there? It could be, depends on the facts of the circumstances. Is it something that the owner had control of? Is it something that they could have repaired? Is it something that you could have avoided? Was it something that you should have seen? It's what they call open and obvious. So there are defenses to a slip and fall claim, and again, it depends on the facts, the circumstances, and the knowledge of the owner.
What if someone slips and falls at their workplace? Can they sue their employer for injuries caused by that fall?
Well, again, you've got to look at the facts. If you're at a workplace and you fall say on ice coming into the building, and this is your place of work, but is it the place that is it somebody else owns the parking lot? Does somebody else own the building? You may work there and your employer may be there, but maybe the employer is a tenant. Your direct question is, if the owner is the employer, you would be limited to workers' compensation in most cases.
Okay. How much time after someone is injured by a fall does the person have to file a lawsuit?
Premises liability case from the time of an accident or fall would be 3 years statute of limitations. So you would have 3 years to maybe submit a claim, and if you don't file it in court within that time frame, your claim would be barred and you would not be allowed to present a claim.
How much compensation is a person entitled to if they've been injured by a slip and fall accident?
It's a very good question. It's a question that's always asked, and initially my response is always depends on the injury, depends on what we can prove your claim is, how treatment, medical treatment, who your doctors are, what kind of treatment did they give you, was there surgery involved, is there disability involved, is there wage loss or economic losses involved? Those are all things that you have to consider. Also, the defenses that the party may have. So there's a lot of variables you have to consider when somebody calls our office regarding a slip and fall where they've been injured.
Can a person who was injured by a fall also sue for lost wages that resulted from these injuries?
Yes, if you do have a slip and fall and you have a legal basis for that claim and you seek a doctor and the doctor determines that you're not able to return to your employment or you're not able to work, you don't have the ability to function at your employment the way you used to be, you would be able to make a claim for economic losses or earnings that you would have made before this accident.
So it sounds like the best way to ensure that someone receives the compensation they deserve for a slip and fall injury is to discuss their case with an experienced lawyer. Is there anything important that we've missed here that you'd like to say to our viewers who have been injured in a fall?
Absolutely. You definitely want to seek legal consultation. There's a lot of hurdles in Michigan law when you're dealing with a premises accident, a slip and fall, a slip on ice, things like that. And there's a host of issues regarding who you're treating with, the doctor, where the accident occurred. There's many issues, and whether you even have a legal basis for a claim. Those are all things that you need to know about, for which you need to seek legal representation, and that's why you would want to call our office.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Thank
you
you
so much for joining us today.
Okay.